today I'm going to review Wonder Woman 1984. So Wonder Woman came out December 25th, right? Best day ever. And I went ahead and watched it with my family. There's a lot of like yays and nays. It's kind of been up and down about the film. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people didn't. I'm going to break down the reasons why I didn't like the film, why I thought that it was a huge step down from the first. The first thing I want to talk about is the way that the film is paced and the way that the film is brought together and just the story as a whole. So the story is very cliche. It's very cheesy. It's been done before so many times. And then the story takes so many different directions and it kind of does that whole like, look over here, look over here, look over here, but come back to here, look over there. It's kind of like that. And it gives me a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man vibes where there was so many things happening. There was Electro, there was the Green Goblin, there was, Peter doing his own thing. Like there was just so many things going on and there was no clear point, plot, objective, whatever. Also, the bad guys, the villains, just ugh. There was a lot of lack ofs here. The action was very, very limited. There really wasn't much action. I think I can count 3 scenes, maybe, if I forgot. Help me. But there's the beginning, there's the car, and then there's the end. And then really, when I say the end, it's really a really quick 5-minute fight with Cheetah, and then that's it. She spends the rest of the film doing some magical girl shit, because to be honest, I'm going to be very honest, the end of the film felt like magical girl. You're putting the whole fate of the world in human hands. I've got a lot of issues with that, but we'll come back to that in a second. Yeah, so the story is just very like lackluster. The story basically comes out of the whole be careful what you wish for, lots of wishing that happens. She wishes for Steve to come back, which it's nice to see them together, but to be honest, the film did this in a very stupid way, and I don't know why. Why couldn't he come back as himself? I don't get what was the point. I don't know if they were doing this because they were like, oh, your wish is not how you want it to be. You got him back, but it's not in his body. It's another guy's body. That was weird for me. Also, I will say there was a long dedicated montage of stuff in the first opening scene when Diana's a little girl. What was the point of that? Like, it was such a waste of time. I enjoyed it because, it was probably the most action we got in the film. Well, that was another action scene, but it didn't serve a purpose. It just had to do with a lot of truth and not cheating and doing things the right way. And I just don't feel like that was really brought in back to the film the way it should have been. Like there was no nothing to kind of connect those two dots together. So I just feel like it didn't serve a purpose. It was a waste of time and it didn't really add anything. And I think instead of doing other things, we could have just been focusing on other things. Anyways, then there was the opening scene with the mall, which I thought was probably the most cheesiest part of the film. And I mean, over cheesy. So almost like cartoony cheesy. It was bad. I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't. I thought there was one cute moment, with the girl where she's just fascinated with her. And I feel like, me too, we're all fascinated with her. And so I felt it, but then it just goes back to being super cheesy, random out of nowhere. You mean this guy who is supposed to be robbing the bank and running with a bag of money stops, grabs a child and does the Michael Jackson tipping the child over the edge and like, I'll do it. And everybody's just like, I've never seen so many people pay so much attention to a child being dangled from from a ledge. Everybody in the mall is just like, oh my God. And then even the other bad guys drop their bags and everything. And they're like, dude, don't do it. It's not worth it. And I'm just like, no, I can't. There was that. And I feel like at this point, she's very cool. But now I feel like they just think she's just so cool that she doesn't have to do much, She can just keep doing the bare minimum, and we're gonna be like awe-impressed with her. And they used the lasso a lot throughout this entire film, but it wasn't really in a cool way. It was just like that's all she's using. That's it. There's nothing else she has to offer. Just the lasso. We're gonna use the lasso for everything. She used the lasso to swing from freaking buildings like Spider-Man. She used the lasso to fly. She used the lasso to dodge bullets when in Justice League. She was dodging bullets with her things. And I'd see that I'd rather see that all day. I could watch her do that all day than the little, because that's just like so simple, you know? But the skill and the precision that it requires to be like she's Wonder Woman, like she's known for doing that. Like that was too much. I was just like, what are we doing? Okay, like she was just relying too much on the lasso for me. I don't get what was that lasso didn't. It's a lasso of truth. It's supposed to just help her see the truth. That's it. But she was using this thing like it was like legit her staff or like her, you know what I mean, like her magical weapon. Like she just couldn't be without it. And I didn't like that either, because I just felt like there wasn't that much creativity. It was just like, all right, she's gonna use a lasso the entire film and we're good. And then now digging deep into the characters, first of all, didn't expect Kristen Wiig to pull it off. She's hilarious. I love her. And I think she's a really good actress. But it's like the typical when you see somebody comedic step into a serious role, you're like, oh no. That's kind of how I felt. For me, it was the whole Elizabeth Banks thing when she took over Rita Repulsa role. Buck was thinking that was going to be a good idea. Anyways, I thought it was going to be like that. And I was like, oh no, I love her so much. I don't want to see this. But she fucking killed this role. She did so good. She's great. I loved it. I was like, oh my God, yes. She's talented. It's like one of those things where it's like, I was just scared, you know? Because like I said, we've seen so many people who are comedic take on a role, but we can't let go of the comedic side of them. But she did such a good job establishing herself and taking that funny away. Like I was just like, yes, I was here for it. What let her down was her story, because it was literally copy and paste out of every we've seen so many. There's Poison Ivy. Electro was what first came to my mind. But then my fiance was like, Poison Ivy. And I was just like, clearly, this has been done before, several times. But Electro was the first thing that came to mind. And I was just like, really? Really? I couldn't think of anything else. Even though it was such a typical, cheesy, common thing, she just took the role so well. Her anger, her resolve, she just owned it. She did a really good job. But then for me, the character wasn't consistent. So they had her hell-bent, okay, on keeping this. She was like, I'm gonna die. I won't give this back. But then she has a 5-minute fight with Wonder Woman, gets her ass electrocuted, which somehow she survives because she was Cheetah. I don't know. No one really explains how she managed to survive. I mean, she's a human, is she not? Whatever. She survives. Then she ends up renouncing her wish. But for me, I just feel like that wasn't consistent with her character. She made me believe that she'd rather die than give up her wish. But one sappy magical girl speech from Wonder Woman and she's good. Like, that's not realistic at all. It's just not. That's it. That's all it took. Like, I don't know. Like, I had a hard time because I was like, no, you were so hell-bent. Like, I believed her. I believed she wasn't gonna let that shit go. But she did. And I was just like, okay, well, that just discredited her entire character. Like, so that was my issue. And then Pedro Pascal did a really good job in his role. But once again, it was like he wasn't really a villain, like a main villain. He was just a guy having a really bad time. Like, he was a guy who went through 2020. Let's just say that. Like, he's all of us in 2020, okay? He was struggling. And once again, the speech just makes him forget the fact that he's a freaking loser. He has nothing. All he has is his son, which I get it. Yeah, you know, okay. I don't know. It wasn't enough for me. He was just like, phenomenal cosmic power. And 5 seconds later, it's just like, my son. Okay, I renounce my wish. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I didn't really think the speech was that powerful, but okay. Because everyone's renouncing their wishes. Apparently everybody was renouncing their wishes. Everything just disappears. But like the people's memories, like they remember, like they're actively like in shock by what's happening because everything's just disappearing and melting away. But they're still aware. How many people are gonna need like therapy after this shit? Like the man who wished his wife was dead, now she's awake because he renounced her wish, and he's just like, I just have a lot of questions. And then I thought, because then when the missiles went off or whatever, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a really cool scene where now she's going to have to stop all the missiles and do some cool Wonder Woman shit. No, that shit just exploded like confetti. And then the sun rised. That was it. I was just like, what? And then the chemistry, you know, it was nice. Once again, it was nice to see Steve, but like I wasn't invested in it. I just didn't feel anything for that. The only thing that really made me feel for her, and it's just because you know, like this is like the common superhero thing, you know, is just the constant sacrifice. I sacrifice so much and I just want one thing and I can't have it. Like that got me. I was like, that's really fucking sad. But that was it. Like I didn't feel, you know what I mean? Like I felt sad because of that. It was nice to see Steve, but like I kind of already low-key knew that he wasn't gonna be staying. So I just didn't invest too much in him. And either way she was gonna have to. So like I was just like, I already see where this is going. So like I'm not that broken up about it. It was just her performance and how she gave that speech. I was like, I feel you, girl. I am so sorry. Just in general, I feel like the film just became a classic DC film, which they're just known for way too much freaking story, way too much dialogue, way too much blah, 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 explaining, and not enough action. And the first Wonder Woman film didn't have that. It had at least 4 or 5 action scenes maybe that I can remember. And I'm not saying that one was flawless. There were some mistakes, but I felt more engaged. And I got to watch her really be Wonder Woman and like do some cool shit. And I just didn't feel like I got that here. And then the whole golden armor thing, I kind of missed where I feel like that served a deeper purpose. Like, what was the purpose of it? Because it didn't really serve a long-term purpose is my thing. She didn't use the wings for too long, up until like freaking Cheetah kept breaking her defenses, so she got rid of it. And then after that, that's it. She just looks cool the entire film. But that's it. The fucking golden armor served no other purpose. They dedicated a whole scene to showing you where it came from and what it stands for and blah, blah, blah. For her to just put it on like it's a fucking coat, you know, that she bought. That was it. And she had it for like 5 minutes and it didn't serve any additional purpose. And I feel like the main purpose of it was just to introduce Linda Carter. Are we introducing Linda Carter because she's gonna become back in the film to serve a higher purpose? Or were we just like paying a homage to the OG, you know? Like, and when we did, it was kind of cool and nice to see, but then she broke the fourth wall, and for me it was kind of weird. I just felt like they could have handled it better. They could have had her in the sidelines where she's just there. I liked the idea of her being person, you know what I mean? Because like I said, she was the OG, she was the strongest. I thought that was really cute, but I don't know. I felt like it could have been handled better. Because now I'm just like, okay, are they showing us this because she's going to be integrated in the next one? Also, there's no one that's supposed to be like Wonder Woman. That's what makes her Wonder Woman. So to see the original Wonder Woman is like, wait. Then the whole, like, the way they wrapped up the movie where Pedro Pascal's character comes out, magically finds his son, like out of nowhere. This little child traveled, was in a base somewhere, runs out, screams daddy a few times, and boom. They just found each other because of the magic of love, I guess. Because there's no other fucking way he would have found him. No cell phones, no GPS. It literally was like a magical girl. I watched a magical girl film. I did not watch. I watched a magical girl film. And it didn't give me the fuzzies. Not the way a magical girl film should make you feel. No, I just felt like robbed. It was not what I wanted it to be. I don't know. And after 2020, like, we needed this. We needed a good superhero film. And it was not delivered. But that's just me. I mean, if you liked this film and you thought it was great, I'm so happy that you loved it and it was everything you wanted it to be. For me, it just wasn't there. And I'm very depressed about it. I'm still depressed. But yeah, it was a no for me. I'm very interested to know what other people thought. This is why I'm just going to do this review, because I wanted to open up the discussion because there's been like a great divide of what people thought. I'm going to go ahead and score Wonder Woman 1984 a 2 out of 5. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below how you felt about this movie. And yeah, let's have some discussion. So you guys have a great day and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!